So when I got back from my European adventure, after having watched all those silent films and Ocean's 8 on the airplane, I went and saw a documentary in theaters, which it turns out I could have watched on the airplane, but I wanted to see it in theaters, and it's also now available to rent on Amazon. So there's many ways to see this movie. The original British name is Nothing Like a Dame. The American name is Tea with the Dames, and it's a documentary by Roger Michell. He did Notting Hill, among other films, and it stars the four dames: Eileen Atkins, Judi Dench, Joan Plowright, and Maggie Smith. Eileen Atkins, Maggie Smith, and Judi Dench are all the same age. Joan Plowright is a couple years older. All four of these women came up in the theater together, at theater and British television movies all around the same time. Joan Plowright, being the oldest, was actually the last, I believe, to become a dame. She was married at one point to, she was Laurence Olivier's wife after Vivien Leigh, but actually she was married to him longer than Vivien Leigh was, till his death. And at one point she was a lady, and then she was made a dame after being a lady for as long as she'd been, because Olivier was a lord. And all four of them had acted in movies and plays with Olivier, so they all had Olivier stories. That was fun. And it was just fun to see them talk about why they got into theater, what theater was like, see how sassy they were, how they were able to navigate their artistic ambitions with their love lives, with raising children, with all of these things, and how they never let any one thing define who they were, other than they are who they are. That was great, and I love Eileen Atkins. She's one of these actresses that's just always really fascinated me. And she's the only one of the group that's never been nominated, let alone won an Oscar. But she's given consistently great performances in everything I've ever seen her in. So she had some of the more sassy answers too, which I appreciated. It's fascinating to see how all four of them were basically told they were not pretty. And then you look at them, especially younger them, but even them now, and you're like, "Who the fuck told you you weren't pretty?" Um, like, but it's a great way to hear from a different point of view of the British arts, because these are the same women. These women are roughly, maybe slightly younger, but roughly the same age as the Hellraisers. The O'Toole, Burton, uh, was it Oliver Reed, and I can't remember who the fourth Hellraiser was. It? Oh God, hold on. We got a cat. Ah! Just enjoy my cat while I'm looking this up. Hellraisers. What the fuck, cat? Okay, sorry. Age, I think, as these dames. And so it was interesting to see sort of the British arts and cultures from their point of view, as opposed to the male point of views, and the way in which they had to sort of rise up in a different way, and talk about iconic roles in a different way, and how several of them played iconic roles that were supposed to be for men, and they were like, "Fuck it, I want to do these roles," and so they did, and it was just very inspiring to see these four women lean on each other over 50 years, as opposed to catfighting, which is what you expect, because the media tells us that women catfight, but here we go with Ocean's 8 and no catfighting, and these women and no catfighting, and truly, given the ability to just be friends, most women are just good with each other. Like it's men that cause all the problems, men that are problems. I have a cat on my lap now. So this was it's a cat's butt. This was a good just look at their lives and who they are now, and how their careers were very different in different phases, and how, like, right now Judi Dench really is the most in demand of all of them, but she wasn't until the 90s, when she made Mrs. Brown and got her big Oscar nomination, and that was her big breakthrough when she was 50. It's crazy. And Maggie Smith saying she'd never actually watched any of Downton, and you're like, what? Joan Plowright just, like, not sugarcoating anything. Just really, really lovely time to spend with these women. So this is Tea with the Dames, also known as Nothing But a Dame, Nothing Like a Dame. There we go. You can rent it on Amazon right now. I recommend it.